we start with today's diplomatic mission to the Middle East. Joining me are NBC News White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell, NBC News correspondent Aaron McLaughlin, who's in Tel Aviv, and the president of the Eurasia Group, Ian Bremmer. He's also the founder of G0 Media. A big welcome to the three of you. And Kelly, we'll start with you because this is the Biden administration's highest level in-person talks on this crisis that erupted earlier this month. So with whom will Secretary of State Blinken be meeting, and how are these meetings really supporting the administration's goal here?
Good to be with you, Jeff. We talked with Jen Psaki at the White House briefing today about these issues and the very fragile temporary peace that certainly part of the mission for Secretary Blinken is to try to give more roots, more foundation to that tenuous agreement to stop the fighting right now. The president has sent his Secretary of State there to have these meetings with a variety of stakeholders in the region. And this is a very public face of diplomacy when a lot of what has been happening with the Biden White House and administration in this phase of crisis with Hamas and Israel has been a quieter form of diplomacy, in part because of the sensitivities on the international level, and to some degree, perhaps in part because of divisions within the Democratic Party here at home, the president being sensitive to the fact that the progressive wing of the Democratic Party is speaking out in a much more forceful voice than we have sometimes seen in these conflicts in support of the human cost to this in Gaza, where so many Palestinians were killed, concerns about rebuilding and having safety for them. And, of course, the U.S. longstanding position of support and friendship with Israel and the right of Israel to defend itself when rockets from the Hamas terror group are sent into Israel. So when you talk about delicate balance of all the different interests here with real life consequences and casualties that we've seen play out, this is a very sensitive mission for Anthony Blinken, who has been, of course, a longtime diplomat, knows these issues in the region, and will have a very high bar to meet to try to keep this on track. And that's certainly a high priority for the president, who has spoken about this carefully and in a measured way when he has taken steps to talk about this in public. So working behind the scenes to bring about the ceasefire, and now a much more public face trying to hold it in place.